Okay, so today we are going to start our new topic, and in last class we have discussed about the stakeholder details, right? To requesting, like Sasank, you have already submitted your one assignment you will share by today, and Venkat, you also please share both the assignment by today. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Now today we are going to start our very first topic, very new topic, that is requirement elicitation technique. Okay. So before I start the requirement registration technique, let me tell you, as a role of business analyst, our first job role, okay, whenever we are getting the project, whenever we are working on any of the application, our first step is to go to the client, sit with the client and to gather the requirement. Okay? To gather the requirement is to take the requirement. And to take the requirement, the process is also called the requirement elicitation. When we elicit the requirement from the client, this process is called the requirement elicitation. कस्टमर से रिक्वायरमेंट को लेने के तरीके को हम रिक्वायरमेंट एलिसिटेशन बोलते हैं. ओके. एंड फॉर टेकिंग द रिक्वायरमेंट और डूइंग द रिक्वायरमेंट elicitation, there are multiple techniques, or we can say multiple ways to get the requirement. It depends on person to person. It depends on situation to situation. In this situation we are, and then how we need to take the requirement. Example, we are sitting with very few people. Okay, so we can have one-to-one discussion as well, and we can gather the requirement from the client. Another, what we can have, we can simply, if we have a large set of people, okay, so it is not possible to just check with one by one and take the requirement. What we need to do in this case, we need to have workshop kind of thing. So these requirement elicitation technique will define how we need, how we should take the requirement. Okay. Now this is very important section from which from the interperspective end. Let me tell you which all question will come from this section in the interview. The first question will come, ki, how you are gathering your requirement in your project as a business analyst, how you are gathering your requirements from the client. First set of question. The same question can be asked, what are the different requirement elicitation technique that you use as a business analyst? Okay. And third question, what are the different required elicitation technique is available that you are aware of, and then which one you have used the most. And for answering all the three questions, you are having the same answer that I'm going to give you. Okay. So let me give you the answer in short. Okay, one of the answers will be, so there are multiple requirement elicitation technique to gather the requirement from the client. It starts with the analysis of existing system, prototyping, workshop, survey, brainstorming, workflows. These are multiple ways to gather the requirement. In my project, interview is one of the technique. But in my project, mostly I have used the workshop technique to gather the requirement. This will be your answer in the interview. Now, what are these techniques that I'm going to tell you one by one? Okay. If I can please read this.
Yes, sir. I can start the project because the user would give me his requirements. Start making something anyway, otherwise will look unhelpful. So our plan is to cleverly hide our competence. You think too much.
Okay. So here is a conversation happening between the two stakeholders. One stakeholder is your client, one stakeholder is your business analyst. So why he is not able to start the project? Because he is not getting the requirement from the client. It is also happening, guys, if we are not using the correct technique to gather the requirement, it is very difficult for us to start the project. Okay. So we should use the correct requirement registration technique to gather the requirement from the client. Now, the first one is the analysis of existing system. Okay. So whenever we are working with the client, whenever we are working with the new project, we should have understanding of the analysis of existing system as well. कि मेरा सिस्टम अभी कैसे काम करता है. This is very important to know. And when so analysis of existing system useful when building a new improved version of the existing system. So whenever we are working for the new version for which we are having already available system is available and then we are making the new version, then analysis of existing system is very much of importance. Then we should know what is used, what is not used, and what is missing. Means in my application, which features we have used the most, which feature we have not used at all, or which features is missing. That we should know. And how we will able to know? By doing the analysis of existing system. The analysis of existing system will also help us to understand what the features that are working fine in our application and which are not. Okay. Then how the system is used, what the frequency of the system, that all we will able to understand when we are working on the analysis of existing system. Example, if we are having a mobile banking application, so we are already having a mobile banking application, but we want to make a new version. So for that, we should understand what is the use of this application, which feature has used. It's okay, like balance transfer, balance inquiry, fixed deposit, recurring deposit. These are the features that are mostly used. There are some of the features which have not used, like replacement of debit card of teachers is not used in the mobile bank application. Which one is missing? There are some AI-driven application features are missing. What work well? I mean, what work well where we can have in mobile bank application? Your application is working. All the features are working actually. Both the main feature are working. What does not work? The speed is not good. What is the frequency of the system? What is it how it's supposed to use and all. So everything then we will able to understand. जब मुझे पता होगा how my existing system is working. That's why analysis of existing system is very important when we are working with the when we are planning to work with the new application. Only version of the application. Why it is useful again. So users may become disillusioned with the new system or do not like the new system if it is too different or does not do what they want. Okay. Sometimes, yeah, good morning, Subhas.
Morning, sir. Hope I'm not late.
No. We just started. Okay, let me repeat what we are going to learn today. So
Yes,
we are going to learn today a requirement illustration technique.
yes, sir.
Okay, this technique we are using to gathering the requirement from the client.
Mhm.
ओके एंड एग्जांपल हम लोग क्लाइंट के पास जा रहे हैं तो क्लाइंट के रिक्वायरमेंट के लेने के तरीके को हम बोलते हैं रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस रिक्वायरमेंट इलस्ट्रेशन टेक्निक
Okay,
तो
sir.
फर्स्ट टेक्निक वी हैव स्टार्टेड दैट इज
Okay.
एनालिसिस ऑफ एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम ओके
Thank you, sir.
so first of all while we are starting the analysis of existing system we should know why we need to analyze what is the need of analysis of existing system so सबसे पहले पॉइंट है कि अगर हम लोग कुछ ऐसे सिस्टम को बनाने जा रहे हैं when we are going to create a system which is very different from the old one okay and
Mm.
it does not do what we want then it is very painful for us to understand what we will do okay that's why the analysis of existing system is required. Second, to appropriately take into account the real uses pattern, human issues, common activity, relevant importance of tasks. So whenever we are doing the analysis of existing system, we should also take what is the real use of this application. Are we facing any kind of human issue or any common issue that we are facing? And what is the importance? There are some features that will be very important for us. What was that feature? To catch obvious possible improvements. So whenever we are working for any new version, when we are planning to work on the new version and all, So we should understand what are the possible improvements we can have, what are the new features we can add into our requirement. So that all will come as a part of analysis of existing system. Also, to find out which legacy features can or cannot be left out. So there are some features that we cannot left out because these features are very important for our application existing. So whenever we want to create a new version of the application, we should know which is the very important feature, the legacy feature we are having, and how we will able to know by doing the analysis of existing system. Now, now we have understood the analysis of existing system is important, why it is important, in what is the use of this. But if we want to do, how we can do, this is another question that we are having. Yes, we decided of the analysis of existing systems required, and it is required to make the new application, is also required to make the uh, what new version of the application. Okay, but how we can actually gather the information, or from there we can get the information of analysis of existing system. So start reading with the review available documentation. So whatever documentation is available with you, you need to start review those set of document. Like start reading available document as user documentation, development document, requirement document, internal memos, change history. So whatever document you are having or you can have as a part from your team, you just take and then you can go through. Example, you have joined somewhere as a business analyst, okay? So you want to understand the analysis of existing, you want to understand how your existing system is working. Because that is very important for you to know before you are going for the requirement illustration. Because if you go blank to your client, they are not going to entertain you. Because nobody is having time to train you as a B or as a project. Okay, so first of all, when you join, whenever you're joining the company, you should have understanding how your existing system is working. That's why existing analysis of existing system is important. And but how we can do, we can simply ask for project manager or any senior member available in that team. He said, do you have any document that I can refer? DRD, कुछ memos हैं, user document, manual guides do we have, sir? So I can go through and understand how my application is working. So a review available documentation is a way to understand what is your existing system. Okay. Now, the first technique. Okay, the first technique is the interview. The first requirement, okay, analysis of existing system is required to do the initiation of the requirement illustration. अगर आपको किसी की requirement या किसी project पे आप काम करने जा रहे हो, so before going to the client for requirement gathering, before going to the client for requirement illustration, you should have analysis of existing system that will help you to gather the requirement in a very thoughtful way. If you don't know your existing system or existing framework, it will be very difficult for you to gather the requirements because you're listening very first time without any background. Okay. Now, the first requirement illustration technique is the interview. Okay. So, Bharat, can you please read the interview?
Yes, sir. Just a second. Yes. Interviews. A great way to extract critical data is via interviews. Business analysts engage in group or one-to-one interviews in an informal or formal setting to elicit project requirements through questions directed at subject matter experts, stakeholders, and end users. By exploring diverse opinions, business analysts gain in-depth knowledge of the requirement.
Thank you so much, Subhash. So, whenever we are, first of all, we have to understand when we can have the interview as a requirement illustration technique, when we should use the interview technique. But there are multiple techniques to gather the requirement. First is the interview. So, first, let's try to understand what is interview technique. So in the interview technique, business analyst will be engaged with a group of people or mostly a one-to-one discussion with the client to gather the requirement. Okay. This interview technique, business analyst is doing with the subject matter expert, stakeholder, client, mostly with the clients who are going to be the requirement. By having the diverse opinions, business analysts get the in-depth knowledge of the project requirement. So what is happening in the interview, guys, let me tell you practically. So example, you are having a very less number of stakeholders available in your team. Okay. So what you will do, you will go to the client. Okay, you will have the interview sheet available with you. You will ask a set of questions. They are going to give the answers. Based on the answer, your requirement will be completed. And then finally, you are going to document your requirement. So for documentation of requirement in waterfall, you will use the documentation for BRD, and for doing documentation in Agile, you will create the fraud backlog, sprint backlog, and the user story. Now, what is important when we are working or when we are going to use the requirement in system technique called interview? So first, it required the good preparation and the good communication management. Whenever we are going to take requirement from the client, we should be very prepared. Prepared in the terms of we should have understanding of the analysis system. We should ready with our interview question. We should ready with the documentation approach. As well as we should have the very good communication management. Communication management means, example, I want to take interview of Venkat. Okay, interview for the requirement registration. I should inform Venkat in advance. Venkat, I'm going to have interview for requirement registration on Monday at 11 a.m. So Venkat will also ready with some type of understanding what he need to get. Okay, this requires a very good communication management. You cannot directly wake up and you can go to the client to give you the requirement. No, it requires a proper communication management. It requires a proper intimation before we are initiating any kind of requirement registration technique like interview. Interview as many as a stakeholder as possible. So whenever we are working with the, we can say client or any stakeholder to gather the requirement, the most important is to gather the requirements of multiple people who are associated with this project. And multiple people का मतलब ये नहीं किसी से भी जाके requirement ले लो. It have the relevant stakeholder. Okay. Whenever you're going to get the requirement from the relevant stakeholder, it will give you the more, you can say, detail of the requirement. Now, when you are asking the question from the say in the interview section, you should ask the problem-oriented question. Pehla, this problem-oriented question should be open-ended. It should not be the close-ended kind of thing. Okay. When you're whenever you're asking the question in the interview, it should open the space for the user to give you the answer in detail, as well as it should your answer the answer which is given by the client should have the described, you can say, descriptive answer. Okay. Now here two questions are available. Shashank, Venkat, and Subhas. First question is, would you like Word 7, Excel 7 or both? Second question is, would you like to do word processing, computation or both? Just try to assume you're going to take interview of one of the stakeholder in your team and you want to gather the requirement. You tell me, Venkat, first, which question you are which question will you ask? First one or second one? The first one is, would you like to use 7, Excel 7, Word 7 or both? Second question is, would you like to do word processing and computation or both? Venkat, which question you will ask in the interview?
The second one, would you like to do word processing?
Okay. Shashank.
Second one, sir.
Okay, Subhas.
Yes, sir. Second one.
Okay. So, sir, any specific reason that you have selected second option?
Uh, um, what processing means, it refers to we can edit the documents or for example, Microsoft Word we can use in we can store the requirements in that and edit format testing.
Okay. Okay. So I'm answering right actually. Why answer is right? Because in the second one, you all have given the answer second. The second is the correct one. Why? Because the question number one is directly giving you the option. You would like to have the seven, what seven expression or both, what you like. But in the question number second, you are actually asking the problem oriented. You said, what is your problem? What is the purpose of having this application? You want to do word processing, you want to do computation, and you want to have both. Means whenever you ask the problem of the client, and then you are giving the solution, which is open-ended. You're not just asking for Microsoft Word 7 चाहिए, Excel 7 चाहिए, you would like to open office. No, you're just giving multiple options to him. You're just opening the question for him so that he can speak up. He can tell you about his problems, what he's facing. And that problem, he will tell you when he will listen the open-ended question called, would you like to do word processing or computation work? So in the interview, whenever we are asking the question should be open-ended. And this question should give space and the scope of the client to speak up and give the requirement in more detail. Now, there are three main objectives of there are three main objectives and the process that we need to follow as a part of interview. First, record information to be used as input to requirement analysis and modeling. Means you are going to the client, you have asked a set of questions from the interview sheet, and whatever information they are providing, you should document, you should write it down somewhere so that it will help you to create a READ. So the recording of information is very important whenever you are taking the requirements from the client via interview technique, because just listening the requirement will not help you to documentation. Second is discover information from interview accurately and efficiently. So whenever we are going to have discussion with the client and we are asking what is your requirement, you should ask your question very accurately and try to get all the answers from your client efficiently as well. Third and most important is reassure. What is reassure? Reassure means you have taken the requirement from the client. Now reassure interviewee that his or her understanding of the topic has been explored, listened, and valued carefully. Means whenever you are taking the requirement, first of all, you need to make sure that the level of understanding what I am having, what is the requirement, and the person who is giving the requirement is same. We are on the same page. And we also need to give some hint to the client. Yes, we have taken your requirement. We have explored all the factors that should be part of a current registration technique called interview. So we should be very reassured कि हाँ जो आपने requirement दी थी वो हमसे समझ में आ गई है. And sometimes you have to repeat as well. कि आपने requirement दी थी, I want to have fund transfer, fixed deposit, recurring deposit option. Up, once you are doing the required registration technique interview, you should again reassure that I have understood you want fixed deposit. In fixed deposit, people can come and do the fix their money with help of mobile banking application also. This is our understanding, right, sir? He will say yes. So this is the reassurance to understand whether we are on the same page on the requirement understanding and requirement explore. Now, what is the process of having the interview? The first process is the plan and preparation. Plan and preparation में क्या आता है? We should plan. For example, I want to have interview on Monday. or Tuesday or any day, then we should send the intimation initially. We should have a very good preparation before we are going to start discussion with the client. Preparation in the terms of we should ready with the interview sheet, we should ready with the meeting room if we are having offline. If we are having virtual, then we should send the invite. So this should be this activities will come as a part of your planning and preparation. Then in the interview session, we should be very active participant because we are the person who are taking the requirements from the client. So interview session should be very good. We should interact in such a way that we should get all the requirements from the client and we should document that as well. Consolidation of information. See, once we get the requirement from the client, हमें client से मिल गई requirement, then we will try to consolidate all the information which is given by the client and then do the documentation in terms of DRD, FRD, or the product backlog, sprint backlog, and user story. Follow-ups. Once we have complete our interview with the client together the requirement, the next step is if we want to have some follow-up discussion, okay, so follow-up discussion or some pending item that we need to take from the client, we should take the proper follow-up in the email or with the phone call. So these are the process consist of interview to gather the requirement from the client. Okay, so Suhas, Venkat,
Yes.
and Prashant, have you understood requirement registration technique for interview?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Simple से है एक इंटरव्यू में क्या होता है you are going to have one interview sheet, you are going to the client, you are asking for what is your requirement and your question will be available. The question of interview will be already available as a part of your interview sheet. They will give the answer, you will document, and then your process will be completed. Most important, once you are having the interview session, ये बहुत एक्चुअली इसकी सिचुएशन में होता है ना जहाँ पे आपके स्टेक होल्डर कम होते हैं then you are having the requirement for interview technique. The next requirement elicitation technique is brainstorming. Okay, the next required elicitation technique कौन सी होती है? Brainstorming. ये कब यूज करते हैं मैं आपको बताता हूँ. Okay. Okay. So once Venkat, I think Venkat will start going to this. Okay. So what can we read this? Okay. Can you read this, Venkat?
Brainstorming. To invent a new way of doing things or when much is unknown. When there are few or too many ideas, early on in project, particularly when terrain is uncertain, there is a little expertise for that type of application. Innovation is an important example. Novel system. Too main activities. The storm generating as many ideas as possible. Quantity, not quality. Wild is good. The calm. Filtering out of ideas, combine, clarify, prioritize, improve, keep the best one is may require some voting strategy.
Thank you so much, Venkat. So our next requirement illustration technique, the first technique was interview. Okay. The second requirement illustration technique and a very important technique also. You can say that this technique I have used most. You can say in this way also, it's fine. But when the purpose of brainstorming, we should be very clear. And उससे भी ज़्यादा important है, you should know when we are using the brainstorming. In which situation you are using brainstorming. So there are multiple requirement techniques. As I told you, interview, brainstorming, workshop, survey, prototyping. But the most important is which technique you will use in this situation. Okay. So brainstorming. So brainstorming कब use करते हैं? When we are using brainstorming. So most of the time, guys, we are using brainstorming session was the brainstorming way to gather the request from the client when much is unknown. Okay, or we are doing a very new project. Then we are doing the brainstorming session. When there are too many ideas. Yes, yes, Subhash, correct. So, you want to say something, Subhash?
नहीं so I was just asking थोड़ा सा सर ने पाया very big project पे हम लोग brainstorming यूज करते हैं सर
यस, बिग प्रोजेक्ट भी होगा, उसके बाद ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट जिसके बारे में भी ज्यादा नॉलेज नहीं है, और हम किसी नए प्रोजेक्ट को बना रहे हैं जहाँ पे किसी को ज्यादा नॉलेज नहीं है. Okay, everybody is trying to have some understanding, and then we are going to make the project. Your client is having understanding, but is also looking for other to help him. Okay. और जब ज्यादा चीजें पता नहीं रहती है ना, तब वहां पे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग यूज होता है. तो when there are few or too many ideas, जब ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट होता है जहाँ पे बहुत सारे आइडियाज हैं, यहाँ पे बहुत कम आइडिया है, you are confused, then we are going to use the brainstorming session. Early on the project, particularly when terrain is uncertain, little expertise for the type of application, innovation is important. Means whenever we are having very little expertise, हमें पता नहीं है कुछ application के बारे में ज़्यादा, या फिर innovation, we are doing a very, we are going to create a very innovative project, new project. Then we are using the brainstorming. Okay. Now, what is happening in the brainstorming? Let me tell you in practical what is happening in brainstorming. So, let me give an example also, guys, to you. So, when I was working on my project, in actual, this is the real example. So, when we are working in the project, so we are having one application, right? Okay. This application is using for the multiple regulatory reporting. Okay. Then we want to create a new feature called chatbot for our application. Like all the application are doing the same way, they are going to create their own chatbot. Okay, that will reduce the work of the application. But in our team, nobody was having actual expertise on the AI algorithms and all. Nobody was having more idea about how to train your system, or how to, which kind of you can say system that we should use. Okay. Then what we did, we just sit together. Okay, our main stakeholder, like this was our internal project. So our internal stakeholders sit together, our delivery head, project manager, we are business analysts. We sit together, we'll try to understand what is the way to have this chatbot. Then everybody was giving their ideas. Okay, so according to me, we should take the llama as a base, and then we need to train. Someone was saying, "No, we'll create our own." mm, okay, someone was saying, so it will be very difficult. Okay, someone was saying, okay, how we should train. Somebody should give whenever we want to train the system, we should give a set of questions to them. Okay, and then relevant questions. So this project was very new for us. Okay, because it was related to AIML, it was based on the AIML algorithm. So this was very new for us, and brainstorms we have used at that time. तो जब आपका प्रोजेक्ट नया होता है, या आपको ज़्यादा नॉलेज नहीं होता है, या यू आर क्रिएटिंग सम इनोवेटिव प्रोजेक्ट, then you are using the requirement illustration technique called brainstorm. Okay. Now here you are having two activities. One activity is storm. Second activity is storm. What is storm? Storm is generating as many ideas as possible. जितना ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों से बात करो, जितना ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों से एडवाइस लो, टेक द आइडियाज, टेक देयर ओपिनियन. Just try to understand what is their understanding. The people who are available in your in the group, who are part of this meeting, brainstorming meeting, what is their idea? And before you in brainstorming, the quantity is important. How many ideas you are getting is important. It is not important that what is the quality of your ideas. When someone saying someone idea is not good, there is a different part in the activity. The first activity, you should try to get more understanding, more ideas from the client as a part of Storm. And that calmly you are going to filter out those ideas. Because you have received the 100 ideas, but you cannot implement the 100 ideas. Then you will use the voting strategy, prioritize strategy to filter out those ideas. And the process of filtering out the ideas that we have received in the storm, that will call the calm. तो स्टॉर्म में क्या होता है, हमें रिक्वायरमेंट लेना है, हमें बहुत सारे आइडियाज लेने हैं, एंड इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ calm, you will filter out those ideas. Who will filter out those ideas? Mostly your senior team members. Your delivery head will filter those ideas. He can use the multiple ways. He can use his own brain to filter the idea. He can use the help of subject matter experts, if it is available, to filter out those ideas to decide which idea is good for brainstorming and for creating the project. Now, for doing the brainstorming, we are having two roles, guys. Okay, actually three roles we are having. One is a scribe, second is moderator, and third is the participant. I will try to understand what is the role of a scribe, moderator, and the participant in the next slide. Before going there, let's try to understand the objective of the brainstorming. The main objective of the brainstorming is to hear idea from everyone, especially unconventional ideas. Means you should get the more number of ideas when you are working as a part of brainstorming. Keep the tone informal and not judgmental. Keep the number of participants reasonable. If two men, there is a play of time filtering. Means, first of all, whenever you are going to take requirement or using the brainstorming technique, your tone should be very informal and it should be most importantly non-judgmental. Means if anybody is giving you their ideas, you should not judge directly. कि नहीं शशांक आपका आइडिया गलत है, नहीं सुभाष योर आइडिया इज गुड, नो नो Venkat, you are very good. No, we should not judge as a part of brainstorming session. First, our main priority is to get the ideas from the people. Once you are getting the idea, it is very important to have your participant reasonable. Example, for your brainstorming session, everybody came to give their ideas. You should not have the meeting where you are having 30 people in one room and they are giving the ideas. No. If you feel you are having more number of people who are important stakeholders and whose idea and their ideas are important to implement your project, what you can do, you can have the filter option. मतलब you just ask 10 people, 10 people, 10 people. You, in place of having one meeting, let's have three meetings. Or you can also have the four meetings. Depend on your capacity and depend, but we should not have, okay, like, it is not advisable that you should have many people coming into the same room and the same meeting to give their ideas. It should be a limited set of people you should have. And for making the limitation, you can have multiple session for the multiple people, multiple group of people. In the brainstorming, it is very important to encourage your stakeholders because जब हम किसी भी नेट ऑफिस पे बात करते हैं तो you should have a very good engagement process as well. क्योंकि लोग बोलते नहीं है कई बार. People are not comfortable to say. So first of all, you should make comfortable. You should ask them to be comfortable. We are having the brainstorming, and the purpose of brainstorming to get the ideas. Will not judge you. First of all, you will say, "Sir, we are not going to judge you. Okay, whatever your ideas we are having, you can please tell me the idea, and then we can think of it is which is good, which is bad, and all. But for that, we should have the idea first in our plate. Then we can decide, okay, what we will eat. Now, for that, we should have the good project name, productive project name. We should have a good problem statement. Also, we should also have the people should comfort actually. Whenever we are having the brainstorming, people should comfort. Yes, whatever idea they are going to share with us, we are not going to judge them. Okay. Then we should get the room. So if we decided yes, we want to do the brainstorming, then we should get the room without distraction. Means a proper room should be booked. Sometimes you're also booking the war rooms and all with good acoustics, whiteboard, color pen. We should ready. उनको लगना भी चाहिए कि हाँ, the people who are arranging this brainstorming session is having all the detail is also ready to document the things as well. Professionally लगना चाहिए. And most importantly, you should provide the coffee, donut, pizza, and beer. This is once we are going to have this set of session. Okay, so You should also try to engage them. And engagement के लिए आपको भी खिलाना पिलाना पड़ता है. Like when you are having your daily meetings in your office as well. आप सब लोग ऑफिस जाते हो, right? तो ऑफिस जाने में if you are having some kind of meetings, ठीक है, तो कोई मीटिंग होती है, then people are providing you the snacks and all. So this is all on why we are providing the snacks and all in the meeting, in the workshop, or the brainstorming session, that they should not feel bored. Okay, and then they provide the appropriate pop-up in the box. Mock-up in the sense कि अगर आपके पास कोई ऐसा स्क्रीन अवेलेबल है या फिर PPTs अवेलेबल है, that will help them to get more understanding and that can encourage stakeholders to give the more idea. Okay, so you should have that kind of PPT or the mock-up screen available with you there. In the brainstorming, there are two persons. One is the scribe, second is the moderator. Scribe is the person who are going to help the moderator or the leader. तो आप ये समझो कि आपका एक पर्सन होगा, एग्जाम्पल वेंकट विल बी द लीडर, okay, and Shashank will be the scribe in this case. So for this project, for this session, whatever question in the sense, he will be the leader. Venkat will be the leader of the brainstorming session. He will ask the question. He will try to get the ideas from the client. He will give his own ideas as well in the brainstorming session. He will encourage the people to speak up. He will encourage the people to make feel comfortable. He will also try to understand, yes, people are speaking, they are giving the ideas, and he will lead the show actually. So moderator is the person who are going to lead the show or lead the brainstorming session. Another people who are helping to the moderator or the leader is a scribe. Scribe will do the documentation part in the meeting, where he can write the minutes of the meeting in the pen paper or with help of some word file. He will ask the verification question as well. Example, leader have explained something. Okay, then he can ask from the group, do you have any question or whatever we have explained to you, leader has explained to you. So in brainstorming session, guys, we are having two roles. One is the role of called moderator, another is the scribe. Moderator is the person who are going to lead the brainstorming session, and the scribe is the person who are going to help the leader. Now, most importantly, in brainstorming session, who all can be the participant? कौन participants होना चाहिए आपके brainstorming session में? So to give the answer of this question, the stakeholders who are associated or affected by this project. Okay, जो भी आपके stakeholders हैं जो आपके इस वाले project से affected हैं या फिर इस वाले project से associated हैं, every stakeholder should be part of your brainstorming session, like developer, domain expert, client, project manager, end user, operations user, auditor, if required. तो जो भी आपकी ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन के लिए पार्टिसिपेंट्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट है, उन सबको आप एक जगह बुला लेते हो एंड देन यू आर गोइंग टू हैव डिस्कशन. आइडियाज people अब a company may have special term like chair and all, this is fine, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. So this is guys brainstorming session. Let me again explain you brainstorming क्या होता है. In the brainstorming session, mostly we are using brainstorming when much is unknown. Okay, when we have too many ideas or very few ideas about the project. Two activities we are having. One is storm, another is a calm. In the storm, we are going to get multiple ideas. In the calm, we are going to filtering out those criteria, those ideas. When we are having the brainstorming, our objective should be to get the ideas from the client, to hear from everyone, and to hear from everyone, we should have some practices like we should not judge the people. We should ask the limited set of people in the group. You should also have the proactive project name, problem statement, good room available with you. You should also offer the snacks and all. You should, if you are having some PPTs or mock-up scheme, you should be ready. Two roles available in the brainstorming: scribe and moderator. Moderator is the person who are going to lead the show, who are going to do all the activity as a part of brainstorming session. He will be the owner of the brainstorming session. Scribe is the person who is going to help the leader. Then who will be the participant? Participant will be the people who will be associated with this project, like developer, domain expert, end user, operational user, client, everybody who is associated with the project will come as a part of your brainstorming session. Please don't get getting on board. Give way.
A moderator and scribe both are BA or they are separate?
Sorry, what is your question, Venkat?
Moderator and scribe both are BA or they are separate team to collect that?
No, BA will be the you can say moderator, and the scribe will be the junior BA or some developer in your team. You can ask, please come with me to help me. But moderator will be the BA.
Sir, in elicitation process, we are going to perform that SWOT analysis also, no?
Yes, SWOT is a different. Yeah, SWOT we will do, but
Okay.
we will take as a part of interview question.
Okay.
Okay, SWOT we are understanding for
Mm.
understanding the different things. What is the strength, what is the weakness, what are the opportunity we can have, threats we can have. Okay, but this we can have a SWOT analysis is actually used to see the overall health of my project. Okay, I need to understand key as in my project, what are the strengths I'm having. Okay, with the strength, what the opportunity I'm having. So for that we are having SWOT, but actually, Venkat, we are not using SWOT for requirement gathering.
Okay. Okay.
So what we'll use to understand the health of the application.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. After taking the requirement, then we are going to perform this process.
After getting the requirement, then it will perform the SWOT analysis.
Okay.
But not before that.
Mm.
So this is the guys brainstorming. Have you understood brainstorming, Sasank, Subhash, Venkat?
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing,
Hmm.
it mentions that virtually any stakeholder, like online, offline, both brainstorming can take place.
Yes. If you are having not option to have offline, okay, means your stakeholder are not in your city, in your country, you have a dependency, then you can have brainstorming offline as well or online as well. But mostly we'll try to have offline only. अगर सारे stakeholder available है, then we will have offline only. This is brainstorming. Because offline में we are having going to have more engagement as compared to online or the virtually. Okay. चलिए. The next is the prototyping. Shashank, can you please read this prototyping?
Prototyping. A software requirements prototype is a mock-up or partial implementation of a software system. Helps developers, users, and customers better understand system requirements. Helps clarify and complete requirements. Provides early response to I will know it when I will see or won't see it attitude. Effective in addressing the yes, but and the undiscovered ruins syndromes. Helps find new functionalities, discuss usability, and establish priorities. Prototyping is effective in resolving uncertainties early in the development process. Um, Focus prototype development on these uncertain parts encourages user participation and mutual understanding.
Thank you so much, Shashank. So guys, prototyping is a technique. Okay. ये क्वेश्चन सीधे डिफरेंट वे में पूछा जाता है. Do you know what is prototyping? Have you ever did prototyping? Okay. Let me explain you what is prototyping. So prototyping is a way of creation of mock-up screen or And before implementing the solution, मतलब what you are going to do, you are going to create a screen, a diagram kind of thing. Okay. For example, if you want to make the website, just hypothetical example, if you want to make the website for your application, what you are going to do, you are going to create one screen. Okay. And this screen will be kind of diagram screen. Hence, you are going to say, okay, this is your screen. This is your screen. So your website will look like this. In this website, you are going to have search option here. यहाँ पे सर्च ऑप्शन रहेगा सर आपका. यहाँ पे यू कैन हैव लॉगिन ऑप्शन. आफ्टर लॉगिन यूर हैव साइन अप ऑप्शन. फॉरगेट पासवर्ड ऑप्शन. यहाँ आपकी कंपनी का लोगो रहेगा. एग्जांपल ऐसे क्रिएटिंग वेबसाइट, कंपनी का लोगो रहेगा. हियर सम ऑफर्स will come. Okay. In the right hand side, all right are reserved with ICICI Bank. Here you will have some option called 1 minute account opening. Okay. Then you're having option report fraud. So your website will look like this. So what is this, guys? This is a partial implementation or the mock-up screen creation. मतलब मेरे application बनने से पहले, before I make the application, I'll create some kind of screen. Okay. This creation of the screen, creation of the mock-up screen is called the prototyping. For that, this process is also called as the wire framing. And for wire framing, we will use the tools and all. उसका हमारा separate class है जहाँ पे we will try to understand how to create this screen. We will create this screen, guys. Okay. So for create by using this is a part of the separate class. जहाँ पे tool के through we will use one tool called Balsamic or FM Sketcher to create the actual screen. वो कैसे करना है मैं आपको सिखाऊंगा. अभी के लिए आपको इतना सीखना है कि what is prototyping. Prototyping software requirement is a mock-up or partial implementation of the software. मतलब आपका एप्लीकेशन बनने के बाद कैसा दिखेगा, ये होता है प्रोटोटाइपिंग में. You're creating some kind of diagram, some kind of screen kind of thing. ये क्या करता है? इट हेल्प डेवलपर यूजर कस्टमर टू बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द सिस्टम और द रिक्वायरमेंट. जब आप वो जब देखते हैं एप्लीकेशन को तो उनको ज़्यादा अच्छा समझता है. इट हेल्प टू कंप्लीट द रिक्वायरमेंट एज वेल. कुछ यूजर ऐसे होते हैं कि जब मैं देखूंगा तब मैं बताऊंगा कि मेरे को रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है. तो क्लाइंट ने रिक्वायरमेंट दी, आपने उनको बोला कि सर आपका वेबसाइट ऐसा दिखेगा, आपका एप्लीकेशन ऐसा दिखेगा, आपका प्रोजेक्ट ऐसा दिखेगा. देन दे विल से ओके, इट्स फाइन. Before saying the yes, sometime what is happening, some features can be missed. Okay, then it will also help us to get the requirement. यहाँ यहाँ सर्च ऑप्शन तो है, बट यहाँ पे आई एम लुकिंग फॉर वन चैटबॉट ऑल्सो, या नीचे में चैटबॉट का ऑप्शन भी चाहिए. ये कब उनको याद आया? जब उन्होंने एप्लीकेशन को देखा. तो इट हेल्प टू फाइंड द न्यू फंक्शनलिटी एज वेल एंड डिस्कस द यूजिबिलिटी एंड द प्रायोरिटी. Prototyping is effective in resolving uncertainty early in the development phase. Sometimes guys क्या होता है, जब हम रिक्वायरमेंट लेते हैं तो रिक्वायरमेंट लेने के बाद जो हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होती है वो क्लाइंट से मैच नहीं करती. कई बार मैच नहीं करते इन द सेंस क्लाइंट को लगता है हम कुछ उनको अलग ही दे देंगे लाइफ में. ऐसा नहीं होता है. जो आप रिक्वायरमेंट दिए वही दोगे. बट जब आप उनको डायग्राम बना करके दिखाते हो देन दे विल हैव द कॉन्फिडेंट कि हाँ मुझे ये मिलने वाला है. एज वेल एज अगर उनको लगता है कि कुछ मिसिंग है तो दे कैन टेल यू अर्ली इन द प्रोजेक्ट. जब आप प्रोजेक्ट डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट नहीं करते हो उसके पहले ही वो आपको बता देते हैं. तो फोकस प्रोटोटाइपिंग डेवलपमेंट ऑन अनसर्टेन पार्ट्स. अगर आपके कुछ पार्ट्स मिसिंग हो रहे हैं या कुछ चीज अनसर्टेन है वो भी आप लोग को डायग्राम के थ्रू दिखा सकते हो. इनकरेज यूजर पार्टिसिपेशन एंड म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग. दैट कभी भी ना हम लोग जब किसी प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करते हैं फॉर रिक्वायरमेंट गैदरिंग और रिक्वायरमेंट एक्सप्लेनेशन, so if you are having some kind of screen to explain, that will help me also to give more idea, and that will also help my client to understand the application. So prototyping is nothing but it is a way where we are going to create some mock-up screen, a partial implementation that will help the client to understand my requirement in detail. The Shank understood prototyping?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And once we are having the class of wireframing by using tool, that you will understand ki how to create it. Okay. Subhat understood?
Yes, sir.
Venkat understood?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Sir, actually, this prototyping I was using when I was doing my working as an associate professor. We used to teach some projects oriented in the final year now of
Which
the.
tools you are using?
No, we are not using the tools, but we were using this prototype method to generate before patent or applying for the patent. We used to do this
Okay,
prototyping model like that, but
okay.
we was not using in the any tools like that. We are doing in a blindfold way.
Okay, you are using what?
Prototyping.
Okay, but not any tool, right?
One, we were not using any tools. Like.
But we will use the tool as the BA to use the prototyping.
So what the thing is, I was from a different background also. I was from mechanical engineering, but
Correct.
I was not from the computer science. But in mechanical engineering, we used to we build a model, a prototype model before the for applying for the patent. But in this, you will use the tools to define the wireframes or the prototype.
Well, correct. So you're having understanding, Sasank, on this.
Yes.
Oh. So guys, thank you so much for joining the class. I'm very happy in the morning also you wake up and you join the class. Just only for the next 2 days we are having this schedule, and then from next week everything will be as usual, guys. Okay. Thank you so much all for joining today's session. Have a
Sir,
great
one
day
second.
ahead. Yeah.
Sir, please share those interview questions.
In the afternoon, I'll share, dear. In the afternoon, I'll
Okay.
share. Once I go to
Okay.
office, I'll share.
Okay. Sir.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Take
Thank you all.
care. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.